have an absolutely awesome topic we're going to be talking about. I don't know if you have said this before, or perhaps you've had somebody in your team that said everybody's saying no and they don't know what to do next. Have you ever been there? If you have, well, I'm going to be covering 6 specific areas that you can cross-check and see what you're doing, and 3 specific things that you can do to help fix the area that you want to get some improvement in. So if you're ready, say I'm ready, and let's rock and roll. What happens sometimes is people get in their business, they get started, and some people get out of the gates and they have a lot of gusto, they have a lot of success, and everything's wonderful. Other times, it's not that way, right? We have several different phases that you may be in for the business. We might be in the immediate jump through phase where you have a lot of new people that are joining you. You're going through your warm market. Everyone's saying yes, everything is growing. We might be in that phase. We might have just gotten started and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to all these people and I'm getting a lot of no's. That could happen. Or you might have more of a mature business center. Let's say you've been in the business 30, 60, 90, 120 days, or maybe 1 to 2 years. And now you're at a spot in your business where you need to recruit. You need to add some new frontline people so you can continue to grow and expand your business. Wherever you are in the whole scheme of things, we're going to talk about 6 particular areas that you can look at for yourself and cross-check, and 3 different things that you can do to fix these areas. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a lot of times when somebody first gets started, I see that they say, oh, I called this person, or I message them, whatever, and they're telling me no. I'm like, great, show me your list. They have no list. They're like, well, it was actually a couple people in my head. I'm like, well, who did you talk to? And they'll usually name off like 2, 3, maybe 4 people. Like, it's not a lot of people. I'm like, okay, well, where is your list of names? Because, you know, doing network marketing is the same as driving a car, riding a bike, or anything else that you can do on autopilot. There's these different steps. Just like baking a cake in the kitchen. If you get in the kitchen and you start mixing up all these different crazy ingredients and you're doing it out of order, you're gonna have a problem. But if you get in there and you follow the exact ingredients step by step, you will have success, okay? Because it's worked for thousands of other people. We know it can work for you too, or it can work for the people in your organization. So step number 1 when somebody gets started is always, we make a list, right? Without a doubt, we make a list. So a lot of times somebody will get in and they'll get going and they're like, oh my gosh, everyone's saying no. I'm like, great, where's your list? And they have no list. So number 1, we got to identify, do we have a list? Because a lot of times if you have a list, and let's say you have 50 or 100 people on there, and yes, 3 people said no. Okay, so you hit 3% of your entire list. We still have a lot of people to talk to. So that's the first thing. The second thing is when I'm counseling with someone and they're saying, everyone's saying no, I'm like, great, show me your calendar. So we look at activity. A lot of times in our mind, we blow things out of proportion, right? Perception is reality. If we perceive that we've talked to everybody on our list, or if we perceive that everybody that we're talking to is saying no, then it will feel that way. But in reality, when we sit down and we open up the calendar and we look and we say, hey, who have you talked to today? Who have you talked to this week? Who have you talked to this month? And at the end of the day, if there's not a lot of activity on that calendar, we know that's an area we need to fix, right? Jim Rohn talks about when you are new, you make up in putting a lot of numbers on the board what you lack in skill. So your skills, when someone gets going, they may not be the same as the person that's the top income earner in your company. The skills are not going to be the same. So we have to make up in numbers what we lack in skill. So if we look and there's not a lot of activity on the board, then we need to identify, hey, this is our area and we need to fix it. Number 3 is an area we want to look at is posture, okay? And I'm not talking about standing, slouching, or standing tall. We're talking about, how do you come across to your prospect? Are you coming across as needy? Are you chasing your prospects? Are you like, please, 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 please join my business because I really need it to make this bonus, or whatever, right? If we're coming across that way, no one will want to be in business with you. And maybe a few people will buy your products or service, but you're not going to get a lot of people that are inspired to join your team. If, on the other hand, you flip things around and you come across that, hey, you know what? I'm leading a movement here in my area. We're doing something that's helping people with whatever the product is, helping people with their health, helping people look younger, helping people travel the world, helping people do whatever it is that you have. And oh, by the way, we're going to get free financially. I'm going to retire from my job. I'm going to bring my spouse home from work. I'm going to pay for my kids' tuition to go to a private school. Whatever the case is, you got to move something in them so that they're feeling like, oh my goodness. This isn't some little thing. This is like a revolution that's taking place in my city and I could be a part of it. Yes. So do you see the difference between someone that's like begging and groveling and like, hey, join my team, you know, I'm full-time and, you know, I can help you anytime. You can call me anytime. Like when you're throwing yourself at your prospects, they will run, okay? It's just like dating. If you chase them, they will run. But if you have a little bit of posture when you're talking to someone, then they're gonna have a lot of respect for you and you are also going to see the results that it is that you're looking for. All right, so number 4 is word choice, okay? Are we using inside lingo on the outside world, okay? This is something, again, also from the late, great Jim Rohn. You know, do we say different things to our prospects? To us, you know, to our ears, it sounds normal. It sounds like, hey, this is, of course, this is what we do. But to your prospect, they're like, what are you talking about? You're like, okay, let me break it down for you. Okay, here's what happens. You get in, I'm gonna put you here, and then I'm gonna put all these other people underneath you, and then we're gonna do this and this and this, and we're gonna stack, and we're gonna, I mean, to your prospect, they're like, what are you talking about? And they're probably gonna say that sounds like a pyramid, right? So you gotta be aware of the language that you're using, particularly your word choice. If you are a person and you are in business for yourself, sound like a business owner, okay? Sound like someone that has some pride with what you're doing, that is building a long-term business, a legacy for years to come, versus some little thing you started and you got into, right? Like I remember there was one girl I was talking to and she's like, oh yeah, I got into this thing and we do this and we try and get people in. I was like, kind of sounds like a cult. Let's not use those words. So be careful about the choice of words that you're using. Remember, you want to connect with your prospect. Here's another thing. I don't know what you do for a living. There's all different kinds of professions that we have. We have doctors, lawyers, teachers, coaches. We have stay-at-home moms. We have truck drivers. We have hairdressers. All different people do this incredible profession we call network marketing, okay? So here's a big tip for you. You want to connect with your prospect as much as you possibly can. If you are a stay-at-home mom and you are talking to a business person, let's say they own a business where you live, you're not going to use stay-at-home mom language. Even though that makes the most sense to you and to other people that are stay-at-home moms, you want to use business talk. You want to say, hey, if you get started, this is the kind of return on investment we can be looking for, or this is the kind of results we can see. You know, you want to start trying to use the language that's going to connect up most with your prospect. Now let's reverse that. Let's say you are the business owner and you have somebody that, you know, patrons your business and they happen to be a stay-at-home mom. Well, you're not going to talk business talk to the stay-at-home mom. You're going to say, hey, would you like to have some more free time so that you can do what you want? And, you know, wouldn't it be great if you had some extra income coming in so that when it's time to go back to school, you could get the kids all the clothes that they wanted or whatever. You want to use language and words that are going to connect with the person that you're talking to, not that are necessarily your language and words, right? So your goal is connecting. So watch your word choice. Be careful not to use the inside lingo on the outside world, and do your best to connect with the type of words that your prospect can relate to most. Number 5. We want to focus on stirring emotions, okay? There are people that get out there. They're like, Summer, I got my list. Summer, I am doing the activity. I've talked to all these different people. I know I have good posture when I'm talking to people. I'm using the right words. But when we get down to the brass tacks, I'm like, great, let's go do a plan. Hey, let's do a 3-way call. Hey, let's go do an event at someone's house. Let's do a party and have some friends over. And they actually go and do it, and they are flat, like they thought their light was on, but it was really off. Do you know what I'm talking about? You're like, wake up somebody, right? Have a little passion, have a little excitement, emote some energy, because you gotta remember, whoever you're sharing this with, these are all people, and people will buy on emotions, and they'll back it up with logic. So if we are not stirring the emotions of the people that we're sharing this with, we are gonna not have people joining. we got to remember, because some people are more logical. So I don't know how you are. Maybe you're an emotional person and that's not a problem for you. Some people are more like, they want the facts, they want the figures, they want the bottom line, right? Or they're very methodical in their systems in which they do. Just remember, your goal is to relate to your prospect. And the more you can stir the emotions, the more they can see themselves in the picture instead of hearing about it, the better your chance you have of getting that person started with you. So that was number 5. Number 6 is sometimes there are some people who go out there and they do share the plan and they do have their list and they're not using funky words, but they have no sense of urgency. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, let's say you're talking to someone, they're like, oh yes, you can join today, and if this is not a good time for you, you can join tomorrow, and next week it's fine. Do you want me to come back then? And they basically do not do anything to create a sense of urgency for that person. Like, you want to make sure that when you're showing the plan, you're doing a home party, you're doing an open meeting presentation, that you are compelling your prospects to join with you. Like, have you heard of the phrase fear of loss, right? People do have fear of loss. They're afraid that when they put their hard-earned money on the table, that either the sponsor is going to run off, something may happen with a company, it may not work for them, so they have a fear of loss of joining. What we need to do is remove that fear of loss of joining and turn it around to fear of loss as to if they don't join. If they don't join, here are the consequences. You're going to miss out on a movement that's taking place here in your city. You're going to miss out while all your friends move forward. You're going to be held back because you didn't get started today. Now, I don't know what kind of business you're in. I don't know how your compensation plans are set up. But here's what I know, that if you can create a sense of urgency where people are afraid not to sign up, you will get a lot more on-the-spot signups. So those are the 6 different areas that we want to cross-check. We want to look at, hey, do I need to change anything for myself? Or maybe there's somebody in your team and we need to help them shift a little bit so that they can get to the next level. Let's talk about the 3 things that we can do in particular to fix it, okay? So the first thing is, number 1, identify what is our problem. If we feel like we're getting no's, right, and perception is reality, we're perceiving that, of these 6 different things we covered, where is the area that we can see some improvement, right? So identify what our issues are, what our problems are, and how we can fix it. Number 2 is counsel upline. What's so incredibly beautiful about what we do is we have this built-in training system. So you can go to the person above you and say, hey, I'm not growing as fast as I want. I feel like I'm getting this. Here's the areas I think I can improve. Can you come with me to a one-on-one? Can you help me with a 3-way call? Here's what I'm saying to my prospects. Is there anything that stands out to you that maybe is an area I could change and it will help me get better results? We have to commit to mastery. If you look at anything, right? You look at people that are in salsa dancing, or they're in taekwondo, or they're in martial arts, or they do something. They might do the same martial arts move over and over and over again. But it's committing to mastery. It's the dramas in the details, my friend, that if we can just iron out the little itty bitty things that we do, that's going to produce some more results. So that is a great thing to do is, go upline, see what they have to say that can help you, or, reach out and get a coach that can help support you in your life. And of course, the last thing is, if you're like, okay, I'm doing a lot of these things right, but I still need people to talk to, then explore some other areas that you can get in front of some new people. You may have gone through your warm market and you're like, time to prospect. Who can I go meet? Now, you can prospect out and about, you can prospect at networking groups, and of course, you can use the whole social media as a way to attract people to you. You can do that by either A, reaching out to them, or B, having them reach out to you. Which, if you'd like to know more about that, that's a skill that we've learned and we've applied in our business, and it's extremely effective, okay? Because they're calling you because they want some more information. So if you want more details on how to do that, you can click on the link. It's listed in the description, and it's basically my social media blueprint of what I have done to, help attract people to me in the marketplace and have them reaching out to me instead of the other way around. So that is all for today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely feel free to share the replay, and you're welcome to share the link that's also in the description if you have people in your team that that they should listen to it as well. That is all. I will see you all next time. Take care. Be blessed. And if we have not met before, I would love to connect up with you. So go ahead, send me a private message, and I'd love to get a chance to meet you and to hear your story. So take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all soon.
For more great training and to receive your free MP3 download,
on how to attract prospects using social media. The 4 essential elements to attracting prospects. Visit summerjeronimo.com.